What's up?
Heyo.
What's
Oh,
up?
we're live. Oh shit, we're live. Okay.
Yeah, we are live. I'm about to go live on the gram too, just in case anybody want to tune in with some more questions.
Let's go.
Um, I did get a reply back. It was first and foremost, they want to know what's your stats, dog. How old are you? How much you weigh, and what do you bench?
Okay. I'm 26. Hey, what's up? My name's Trey. I'm 26. I
Yeah,
like long walks on the beach, learning new songs on my guitar, and I'm currently benching about probably like 240. My stats are way down on bench.
damn, 240 pretty good though.
And
240
I
is
lied a
good.
little. I lied a little on that one, but still,
What is it really?
I don't know, probably like 225, bro. I haven't benched in a while.
Damn, yeah,
I just I just I just been scrapping.
that's how you do it, though. That's how you.
Scrapping and scratching. I've been trying to get out the tunnels.
Oh, I think you more than out the tunnels. You a whole personality up in the sport now, dude. I see your faces and everything everywhere. And I might just because I'm following you and I know what to look for now, but it seems like I didn't really, well, I don't really follow too much, especially people behind the camera kind of stuff. But now that
Mhm.
I went through Flow and I had met you and everything, you everywhere, dude. What's up? Did that series really slingshot what you was doing with Flow, or were you already in tight with them, or did that series really kind of help y'all get together on that, or how'd that work?
Well, like I think more than anything, Flo just done messed up. You know what I mean? They done
Uh-huh.
they done took the chains off the boy and let him just start
Uh-oh.
making whatever videos. So no, I'm just kidding. I mean, who's next was like that was early on in my Flow career for sure. Um, but it really was just like I had like a lot of good mentors and stuff when I joined Flow. So obviously like Reed and Michael Sears were here still at that time, but even like Chase and Hal, everybody just kind of like was pretty down to let me like make whatever videos I wanted as soon as I came in. And so with that, I was always a huge fan of the vlogs and like the Road to Worlds and the vlogs Reed would make. Like that was like my favorite content whenever I was just a guy out there in the jujitsu world, training and watching stuff, trying to watch whatever you could about jujitsu. I loved the vlog. So when they decided to let me do that, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna run with this and like keep trying to do that type of thing. So
Off the chains, off the leash,
that's
compete.
right. Uh-huh. They done messed up, Spencer.
Oh yeah, let my boy out. My man's. So
That's
how
right.
has the transition been different? Were you mostly doing like kind of independent stuff, or now you're freelancing? They still give you full reign over your content, kind of thing, but it's still like you're producing it for Flow, and they sending you in different areas, wanting specific kind of stories, or you just kind of go with the flow, go where they send you, and then you just kind of develop the narrative at that point.
So I am like just full time at Flow. So like just working for Flow Grappling is my full time job. Like I think my title is literally like Flow Grappling content creator, which sucks, dude. I hate the content creator title. It's the worst. It's just like I don't know why, but I just don't like it. But uh, so that is my full time job, and really it is just like we do get a lot of freedom to just like kind of decide what we think's like the important content to be making within the jujitsu world, so like whether that's based around events or just stuff that's going on. So like recently I've been dropping this ADCC Euro Tour like vlog series that I've been making. I think there's like 6 episodes out, but basically it's just kind of like I just pitched the idea because like Euro Trials was coming up and I like ADCC year, so obviously ADCC is huge, and basically just pitch the idea to like just tour around Europe and like visit all these gyms and vlog it and get training grounds and all that. And like I feel like really it's just like if you have a good idea and like you can show like there will be good executions out of this, like then you do kind of get a lot of freedom just to like run with the kind of content ideas you want to make. So
That's awesome.
pretty much it. Yeah, for sure. You hitting the hookah right now? Should I brought my own hookah? I didn't know this was a BYOH podcast.
BYOH, baby. Yeah, I'm broadcasting from my garage right now. I got my chickens next door and sitting right next to my little snapping turtle. You know what I'm saying? So,
Nice, dude.
welcome to the
Next time
super.
I'm on, I'll get my own hookah.
Yeah, let Flo know, baby. They need to have a hoop.
That's right.
Dude, they had everything when we was over there. They had all those catered lunches, like all those snacks and everything. It seemed like a super dope company.
For sure, yeah. No, Flow's a great company for sure. Like they definitely take care of the employees and make it like a cool place to work. And I like one of my favorite parts is just like the freedom you get to like really like come up with the content and make the content you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't care what Craig says about you guys.
Dude, I knew that was gonna come up.
Always did right by the sewer rat.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That's right.
Well, I don't know what was going on with any of that. It was just you know, and then just to kind of kick it to the series, but I probably think it maybe had something to do with the way that it ended. And we'll come back to that, I guess, in a little bit. There's no real direction we're going with this or anything. It's no gotcha scratch journalism.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's a hit piece?
Huh? No.
It's a hit piece?
Hit piece on all my haters.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll let you know right now. If it goes down that road, I'll lie, sewer rat. You won't know what's true and what's not.
I may or may not. See, I may or may not. So I want this to be kind of like an educational thing a little bit, you know, kind of like how I do my little sewer rat instructional bits, just make it super approachable. And I think it's super interesting. You know, that's why I'm having all of the background crew on there is so y'all can give a little insight look as to what goes in to a production of a series like this. And when you talk about being a content creation specialist for Flow, and how do they measure success in that role? Are they like tracking your views or like any kind of sponsorships that you're getting through the series and everything? Like how does one measure success in that capacity and kind of what you're doing?
Yeah, so it's like there's kind of like a hybrid approach to success, I guess, in certain ways, because it is like whenever you're like someone who makes content for like flow grappling, like I'm lucky enough to work specifically for grappling, like which is like the sport I love and everything. So that obviously is great. There are some like content creators who do cover like basketball and football, like you know, it kind of mixed.
That's crazy.
You said, I know, yeah. But so I get to lock in on grappling and we have like goals just like any other company, to be honest. Like I think that's sometimes something people forget, like, you know, like internet commenters and stuff. Like they're like, oh, this is trash, whatever. It's like, bro, I'm a guy with a job at the end of the day. Like I'm not like, you know, like I don't know what people think I am, but it's like I do just have a job. Like I got a boss who I got to be like, yeah, I got this many views, you know. So we have certain goals like that. And it's like nothing super like hardcore or anything like you got to hit this many page views, but like there's like page views type of goals, stuff like that. Like a lot of stuff based around like event promotion, you know, like how well do events do and stuff like that. Like how much content do we create around the event? And then like we have partnerships with these other organizations and stuff as well. So a lot of it is like how did the, you know, like did we make content that accurately represented like what they wanted it to be, you know, like that, like the amount of promotion, stuff like that. So there is some like behind the scenes kind of more like of the media company type of goals that we do have for sure. But I think there's this weird mix too though, where they also just weave in like are we like serving the jiu-jitsu community, you know, like are we doing our best to help the sport grow? Are we making videos to help progress the sport, you know? And like, and one of my goals personally is like, am I making stuff that's entertaining people who love jiu-jitsu? You know, like, am I shining a light on like the athletes and their lifestyle? You know, like I love trying to show the athletes' lifestyle. So like people who love jiu-jitsu can like get to know the people who are like actually the ones putting it on the line in the sport and be entertained from that. So that's like kind of my own little personal goal, but like that's what the company likes that too, you know?
Yeah, I guess that was a part of the driving is where all of those vlogs, it was like a video blog kind of thing. It shows you like a day in a life, a slice in the life of these kind of athletes. And it really helps you understand who these people are. And it gives you that backstory and you kind of not just connect with the sport, but the individual athletes and what they're doing, their struggles, everything they're going through to make their dreams happen, which is awesome. And that was one of the goals of that series, Who's Up Next, was to help give some of those not like some of those unknown in a way a platform to kind of start skyrocketing some of their success. And a lot of people have taken that run and just gone with it, you know, Kyle's been doing really well, Big Dan, Andrew Tackett, you know, Renee, of course. Everybody on that show seems like they're doing something awesome now, and I know you've been following them through ADCC. um, it's great. It's great. And I don't know any other company besides Flow that's doing that. And I give y'all's company credit because who else is there? Who else is there to interview on the behind the scenes journalism aspect of this kind of stuff? You know, there's always internet trolls, and of course I'm a hater, baby. But I got nothing bad to say because nobody else is covering the sports and the events that y'all are doing. I know a lot of the main criticisms is that like maybe like during the events y'all run commercials like when action's going on or there's something like that. Who controls things like what camera to pan to or when to put an ad on the screen? Is that something that they haven't mastered yet? Are they looking to fix that or they don't care?
Yeah, I mean, like so we have like a lot of producers and stuff like that, people who produce the live production, because like at the end of the day, I guess that is like Flow's product.
Who I got to get on this podcast so we can
Yeah.
scratch out.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we'll scratch them up if they're in denial. All right. Don't get it twisted. But no, so it's like that's kind of like that's like what Flow's product is, I guess, at the end of the day, is our live streams, like our live production. So we do have like a live production crew and everything. But I think like the place where sometimes grappling fans get upset and stuff is like whenever we cross over into like this mixture of like maybe it's someone producing who's like not a jujitsu guy, you know what I mean? So it's like we have this like core content team of jujitsu guys, it's like there's like at one point we had like 4 black belts on the team, whenever it was like Chase, Corey, Sears, Reed, they're all black belts and stuff, so it's like just deep jujitsu guys for sure. But then, sometimes like just certain things are covered by non-jujitsu people. So it's like they might cut away from like a very intricate like grip or something in like a gi match, because they just don't know. So there's an element with that. But then like we also have some producers who, even though they're not jujitsu guys, they're like super hip to the jujitsu scene now. So like we got this guy, Kyle Grover, super pro. Like I don't think he really messes up that often, to be honest. Whether if it's like it's stuff out of his control, like internet issues, like a venue issue, and it's like there's actually nothing really we can do. Like we can try to optimize that, but like sometimes there are out of our control things. But Kyle's super pro and stuff. But it's just like a mixture, like of some events get like really good stuff that's good, knows everyone knows what's going on. Sometimes not, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that was something I had actually wrote down. I'm glad you shouted that out because I wanted to ask for you what makes somebody like a great coworker to be working with is just that their understanding of what the fans want and have that layered experience of knowing, okay, like you said, I got to cover that grip and that part was important kind of thing. Anything else that you out is, who was one of your favorite people to work with on the show and y'all still in contact or y'all still work together?
Yeah, for sure. So like the grappling content team, or those are like my boys, you know what I mean? Like those are the dudes I care about the most and stuff. We're all super close. We train together every day. Like we all train at the same gym and stuff, we work together. But that's like right now the current grappling content team for Flow Grappling, because we have had some people leave, like Sears is just with ADCC now and stuff, but the core grappling content team is me, Corey, Joe Gilpin, this Slack Barrett just joined our team, and then Reed are like the 5 like core people. And I think like I love all those dudes and I love working with them and stuff because everyone just loves grappling and wants to make dope stuff, like we're all just trying to like do our best to make the coolest shit. But like I like Reed a lot and I love working with Reed because like Reed's a dude that I watched his videos, and I like got inspired by him to like want to start making jujitsu content and all that. And so now like I get to work alongside him and he's just like always game to like bounce around ideas and help me improve and kind of like a like not enough like an unofficial mentor to me in a way, so like I do love working with Reed a lot for sure. He's like a good dude to work with, but I'm down to work with anybody who's just like open-minded and just like is trying to make dope stuff, you know what I mean? I don't like get caught up in the like in like the jargony and like the corporate stuff where everyone's like, saying these fancy words to seem cool. I just like people who are trying to do dope shit. Like, I don't know. It can be, you can get a little bro with it, and just be like, hey, let's just make some dope shit. I don't know about the rest.
Yeah, Reed seemed like that perfect in between where it seemed like he was super down to earth, connected with all the jujitsu athletes, what the fans want, but then also how to pitch that to the business execs and everything. Like I was who's up next kind of like his baby or how did that series what do you know anything about how that idea got pitched and how that came to be?
Yeah. So, I mean, for sure it derives from like the Ultimate Fighter. Like, that's not like, no
Yeah.
one's going to deny that, you know what I mean? But that's like everything in media kind of derives from other things. But it's for sure like Reed's baby. Like, he kind of that's like his big production. Like he was obviously there directing it and everything and like making it happen. And there's obviously a lot of people who are involved in stuff. And like Cliff is the guy who kind of looks like an older version of Reed, you know, like the next evolution of Reed, if you remember him from the shoot, like the other long haired, long beard guy.
Tall dude, the tallest one, doing a lot of
Yeah,
the
he's tall.
leading the interviews and everything.
Yep, that's Cliff. So like he worked a lot on it as well. But then Ray, like Ray's like he was big into it and all that. Like those were kind of like the directors and executive producers of it. But for sure, Reed had a lot to do with it and a lot to like coordinating all of it and making it happen and stuff.
What was the tipping point? Because I know probably this is something that has been bouncing around for a while. What magically coalesced to it finally being greenlighted? And maybe that's a better question for Reed if I can get him on here. But you know anything about what happened that it actually was like, all right, let's go?
I really don't know too much about that, to be honest. Like it was something that was like whenever I joined Flow, it was like already in the talks and stuff, like already kind of in the works of like being created. And I remember I remember like like being on a whiteboard helping it like list out all the people like we're like, all right, who's the names, you know, like who are people that are like the next up type of grapplers, but also dudes who are like will make a good show, you know, because like there's an aspect of that where it's like you did have to like kind of cast this group of characters where it was like it'd be interesting, you know, if the show was going to be like a good show. So I feel like it was kind of already in the works. So Reed would know more of that, like what the actual like green light of like, all right, let's do this would be and stuff.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, it had been in talks or in plans for a while, but it seemed like also at the same time everything was almost kind of being made up on the fly. And probably that's how a lot of genius, great things end up happening. Is you got to improvise along the way. Because I remember when I first got to that Flow office that y'all had, I think y'all moved around like twice maybe since then, or at least once. But
Just once, yeah.
they had that whiteboard, and I think they were still like trying to come up with names for the series. They're like, all right, what are we gonna call this? Like,
I think that's one of those things. It's just like with any type of big production or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's like even if you have a plan, like it's gonna change as soon as you like start filming or something, you know, or like you pull up to like whatever like a thing that you think you're gonna do this challenge and it's like, ah, shit, this isn't gonna work out actually. Oh, what do we do, you know? And you kind of like have to just be like agile and like figure it out on the go. That's kind of like that's like an important thing I feel like as well. But going back to the coworker thing, like having coworkers who are just like super game, you know, like you got to be with some people who are like really game to just be like, oh shit, I don't know, the original plan's not going to work out, let's all just figure it out and just like make it happen type of thing. And I do think I think we have a lot of that at Flow, especially on the grappling team. Like it's like, all right, we're just gonna make it happen. I don't know, like, but
yeah, I think y'all totally encompass Flow grappling because y'all just kind of go flow and y'all kind of like
that's right.
fall and keep going. That really goes a long way with a longevity of the success of a company. Is everybody's dedicated to what can we do to make this work. It's not like one person just like, no, dude, I'm just here to film. Don't ask me. Like, you know, everybody is. Mm-hmm. You said at this point, kind of at least familiar with what's important for the audience, and they're kind of getting that jujitsu technicality where they know what's important and what kind of questions to ask. So that's awesome.
For sure.
Did you know anything
100%.
about athletes before they showed up to the set or anything? Were you kind of brought on? Like, how much did you know about what was going to happen before it happened?
I didn't know. I knew the excuse me. I knew the athletes who were going to be on the show and stuff, and like out of those athletes, I like also just knew them from, you know, the grappling world and watching them compete and all that stuff. But I didn't know all the extent of like all the challenges and stuff you guys were going to have to do. Because part of it was like I was there for some of it, but then I had to leave and like went on like a content shoot and then came back and like, you know, so I don't know. I was kind of like in and out of the production, and definitely it was more like I think for one, they wanted it to be a little more secretive just so people couldn't tell like you guys what all was going to happen. Like I think some things probably got out, some things not, but like I definitely think it was like Reed and Ray and Cliff kind of like were trying to keep some of it tight so it's like that couldn't get spread too much.
That's a pretty cool energy just to kind of have going around the set too. Is like we're all like in this together. Yeah. The athletes, the coaches, the crew. Like it was just kind of what we're about to get into. You know, so that
100%.
At first, not the first challenge. That was the arm wrestling, right? But that second one, is that the bull wrestling one, dude? That was crazy. Whose
Yeah.
idea was it to get professional competing athletes in a pen with all of these bulls and trying to have to wrestle them down and think that they're going to go? And then it was crazy because the smallest dude and then the biggest dude both went immediately after that event. Like that was kind of crazy to have to go from wrestling a bull right into wrestling like another bull of a dude for tacket. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was just kind of like I don't know. It wasn't like you're racing go karts and like you're still rested or whatever. You know, that was a huge energy expenditure, and somebody could have gotten super injured doing that.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't know whose idea that was. I would probably guess Reed's, just he probably had the inspiration from just doing rounds with me in the gym. Like he probably, was like, oh shit, it's this boy's basically a bull, we might as well make these athletes go, I don't know, that would be my guess. But
Yeah.
it is crazy, dude, because I think that was just like, that was just something that like was lucky that it ended up being that way. Like Tackett took down the bull and then calls out Big Dan. It's like, that's good TV, bro. Like it just like, that's how it played out. That's crazy.
That is great, dude. And he was for sure playing that up. That was awesome. I'm happy that that happened for the series and for those athletes. That ended up working out great.
100%.
Let's see. I did have another question from a viewer earlier. They wanted to know your opinion on how is American no-gi surpassing Brazilian no-gi at this point, or why or why not, do you think?
Okay. This is a tough question right here. You're asking the hard hitting stuff now. I think it's like I guess this would be my take on it. I think in Brazil, like just speaking solely from my own experience of like going to Brazil and seeing how they train and stuff, it seems like every Brazilian gym still does lean super gi heavy in like their training and and like the things they're focused on. And so I think in America you get a lot more of that like no gi specialist. Like obviously like Gordon and Danaher's gym, kind of with Marigali in the mix now. He brings a little gi to it, but like you get way more no gi specialists in America that are okay with just never touching the gi. In Brazil, I feel like everyone is training in the gi, and then they mix in no gi as well. I don't know which is better, to be honest with you, though. I saw Lucas Lepre made some comments recently. That was kind of crazy. It was cool seeing him comment about who's number one and stuff. But he talked about how he thought the gi players were kind of, like closing that gap or even better than the no gi guys because you have to have the gi to create some of those fundamentals. There's a little bit of my take on that. And we talked about this we do like an ADCC update show podcast. We talked about this. I feel like one thing about whenever people describe gi people, that just means they started training when they were 5 years old. Like you don't start as a 5-year-old no gi. Like that's pretty rare. Like maybe more so now that the ADCC Open like kids scene is getting so big, or someone like Andy Varella's gym. What you said?
They got like kids wrestling.
Yeah, kids wrestling, that would, I think, influence American no-gi more so than Brazil. But I just feel like with these people like the Ruotolos would be an example where if you look at them now, you might think they're no-gi specialists, but those dudes started training in the gi at 4 years old. So they're like, are they considered gi guys as well? And then just like finally now are no-gi specialists. Like I think there's an aspect where it's like gi dudes just started training when they were like 4. And so it's like, I don't know, that probably has a big influence as well. So I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't know which is better for sure. I kind of, part of me likes the like bringing a little element of that like nationalism to it, just because it's like it's good, like we said, good TV. It's good TV to be like American jiu-jitsu, nah, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's like kind of adds a little spice to it.
Yeah, and I think now it's getting more global. We could just kind of drop the prefix and just call it jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I like just grappling too. Like do it all. I don't know. Throw some judo in there.
Actually, I was about to say, I've been focusing a lot more on judo recently. And the more you learn about the history of the martial arts, it seems like almost all of the jujitsu techniques came from judo. And especially when you take into account that the Gracies learned from judo athletes, judokas. So it's just like, I feel like learning the gi for sure helps develop a level of control over a partner, and you can kind of get an understanding of like body mechanics a little bit easier when you've got these grips in the fabric to twist and turn and to pull and to manipulate your opponent's body weight. And then once you can kind of understand those base levels, you can translate that to no-gi if you know what you're doing. A lot of
Yeah.
people just kind of go into practice and they just go through the motions kind of thing. They're not really studying it in a way that would help them elevate. Because I mean, if you're a professional athlete, you can get something out of anything, right? Even if all you do is
Sure.
no gi. If you go to a class and it's all gi, what are you going to do? Not put on a gi and try to make these other players do no gi with you? There's something you can learn from every aspect, and that's part of being a master is being an eternal student and getting what you can from any situation that you're in. So I don't know. For me to answer on that question, obviously we got Gordon Ryan, who's undisputed no-gi champion,
Yeah. He's
whatever.
kind of the anomaly. He's like the anomaly, though.
So I mean, I guess you'd have to say Americans have usurped Brazilian no-gi in that aspect, because I mean, who's out there beating Gordon Ryan right now? Nobody. But I think. And then even in the gi, you've got athletes. I don't know where they all come from, but I know at least Keenan Cornelius was doing really, really well running that circuit in the gi with all of his lapel techniques and everything that a lot of Brazilians probably had never even practiced. So it's just kind of, it's interesting watching this sport develop, and especially as we get access to internet and people dropping these techniques and everything, because this was something I talked with Simone a little bit about earlier is, back in the day, all of this information was kind of limited and it was gate kept in a way, because instructors maybe had to go travel 3 hours or 6 hours to go to their professor's gym. They went to like a seminar or something, and then that's all you did for like the next 2-3 months until the professor had a good chance to go back and learn some more. And then y'all would come back and like it was kind of dispersed like that. But I think internet has really benefited. I mean, of course, across all kind of sports, but jiu-jitsu especially, because there was so much knowledge that you couldn't get before. And especially with the instructors kind of gatekeeping, it's all out there, and it's just it makes it a lot more accessible for your everyday hobbyists and people who watch UFC and want to get interested in kind of stuff but don't want to get punched in the face. Jiu-jitsu is a great alternative, and it's awesome that it's been exploding. And I think a lot of that is due to exactly what y'all are doing as a company, is putting those athletes on the forefront and just kind of showcasing that exclusively, which is, I think part of where Who's Up Next really had its pivotal point, is to show like, we got all these athletes just like the Ultimate Fighter House kind of thing, right? And so y'all built off of that, kept it going, and it's I think the sport is in a really great place right now, whether you're gi or no gi fan. It's all exciting to watch. What kind of matches do you enjoy covering the most? You prefer no gi or gi, just to watch as a spectator?
I mean, I like taking it all in, to be honest. I think that's one of the cool things about jiu-jitsu, is that like if you want to pick one and like you like sport no gi, and that's your thing, or if you like sport gi jiu-jitsu and that's your thing, like you can for sure. But like, I mean, we get both. So, like I like to consume both of those things. Like, I think really for me, it's just more about like the athletes and stuff. Like, I like watching dudes who make it exciting, just like everyone else. Like, who doesn't? You know what I mean? And so I think right now, like some of the best people to watch for me are like Miki Galvao is just like on an insane run right now. Just like even at Europeans, like he's a dude who, like, I guess he's a good example of like, if you watch Mika, it's exciting in the gi, it's exciting no gi. It doesn't really matter. Like he makes it exciting no matter what. And so I like watching him a lot. Obviously the Ruotolos, like I watch all their matches in one and stuff. I wish we could see more of them, like that's the only thing with Ruotolos is like, man, I want more. Like give me some more matches. But then these guys, like I do think, I guess I'll say this. I'm having a fun time watching all these dudes who are traditionally gi guys who are coming over to no gi. Like Tommy Langacker, for example, like he was obviously at ADCC 2022, but it just seems like he's just more and more just completely invested in no gi. And it's like kind of sick watching him transition and keep going. I think Espen, his teammate, has a no gi match on Polaris coming up. And I'm excited to watch that. I think that's going to be dope, seeing how like you know, these dudes who are wizards in the gi, how they can kind of translate that into like being wizards no gi, and like they take the back from everywhere. So that would be sick. But I don't know. I like watching it all. It's like it's weird. It's like you can watch Who's Number One, you know, and you get like that like hopefully polished super fight show, you know, where Polaris puts on great shows, Fight Pass Invitationals, like all of these like super fight shows are like getting incredible, like with like production value and everything. Then you can watch ADCC if you want to watch like a freaking hardcore underground concert, then turn on an ADCC Open. You know what I mean? Like you feel the chaos as you're watching that. And then like IBJJF, you know, you get like the more buttoned up traditional side of martial arts, which is fun to watch as well. So it's like I think that's the cool thing. You get a little taste of everything right now in the jiu-jitsu world. Like 2024 is a great year for a jiu-jitsu fan because there's so many events this year. There's so many different promotions working and kind of bringing their own flavor to it that like it's incredible to watch all this stuff. Like even with Aiga, Quintet, like you know what I mean? Like you can just go on and name all these sick things you should be watching. You should be watching Sewer Rat. People got to turn on Flow Grappling.
That's right. Tune in, baby. And don't forget to watch Sewer Rat and Friends.
That's right. Yeah. If you're listening to Sewer Rat and Friends right now, go like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, scratch.
Yeah. Yeah, you dropped the Wizard name, and I was going to say we can't talk about the Wizard without talking about Ryan Hall, the Wizard, you know?
100%, yeah.
He made a really great transition and maybe gave hope to a lot of gi athletes that, you know, maybe people who just thought that, okay, well, I'm exclusively a gi athlete. Maybe now I can do some of the no-gi stuff with his, you know, run on the Ultimate Fighter as well. And, you know, he hasn't been taking so many fights as of late, but I heard him say something. A lot of it was just the scheduling of everything because a promotion of that level, they just like Volk just recently did, Volkanovski. They want you to take fights on like a last minute, I don't know, like a substitute almost. And for Ryan Hall, he wasn't okay with doing things like that. He wanted, you know, at least 3 months notice to help prepare and everything, which, you know, hit or miss. I feel like there's a lot more stories like what just happened to Volkanovski than there are where people just kind of stepped in and then like did really, really well. Like it's obviously a really great shot to step in and show like, oh, I always stay ready. I can fill in at a moment's notice. But then, you know, I feel like on the coin flip switch, like there's probably a lot more that step in and just it didn't happen for him in that way.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think maybe gi competitions, obviously IBJJF is its own thing. What can other gi competitions do to maybe make it more accessible for your average viewer? Because I know, and especially since I've been doing judo, I did a couple judo competitions recently and did pretty well. But what I like about them is they press some of the action. So whenever, and then this is Sambo too, right? Whenever you get a takedown, they put a time limit. You've got maybe like 30 seconds to a minute, as long as you're still working to advance different techniques or going for a pin in Sambo or judo. And then they stand you back up. What do you think would be like a sweet spot, or have you given any thought to what gi could do to maybe press some of the action a little bit? Because I remember when I was really starting to train, and you know, mostly of what I was doing was in the gi, and it wasn't until maybe like 2-3 years into my jiu-jitsu training that I started doing more no gi. But we were watching, I forget what competition, but you know, it seemed like it was typical for these high level black belts. If there's like a 5-minute match, you know, there's like 3 to 3.5, even 4 minutes of stalling. And, you know, one of them will pull guard, and then, you know, it's basically whoever gets the sweep or the pass. And then that's going to create the victor. What can we do point wise or just rule set changes to maybe make that a little bit more accessible, press and action for just your average viewer? Or do you think we should just say, nah, it is what it is, just deal with it?
No, I think for me, I think it's like referee involvement. Like you kind of talked about it a little bit, like the way judo does it. They have like the timer and stuff. And then like wrestling, man, is like if you watch like like I don't know which is better about it, freestyle or folk style. Either way, I feel like they're both doing it. It's like immediately you're getting an action call. You know what I mean? Like 3 seconds of nothing. It's like action. You know, it's like someone's always talking. So I think it's just like it has a lot to do with referee involvement for me, like making sure that the referee is actually like on the athletes about like, hey, bro, like we all know what's going on right now. This is stalling. Like I think sometimes it's like we pretend like we don't know it's stalling. It's like, nah, bro. It's like, nah, stalling blue. You know, just call it. I think the other thing is like I'm not a huge fan personally, and like there's people who know more than me, you know. So if someone knows more and can break it down to me why it makes sense, then go ahead. But like the like double penalizing people, I feel like is like the same as doing nothing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like if you give double penalties for stalling, it doesn't actually incentivize anyone to not stall because it's just like you're still at zero, you know? And now it's like you're both negatives. Now, like what, you're just both gonna get double DQ'd? That's like insane, you know? So I think it's just like referee involvement in a way and like making sure like you are pushing the action, but then like let's just actually like, you know, make some judgment and be like, this is the guy who's stalling, penalty blue, you know? Because then that actually incentivizes one of them to at least increase their output and everything. So I think it has a lot to do with the referee involvement. And I think you can see that, like you said, in judo and wrestling. Like to me, that seems like the path, but I don't know.
And I think if it were on the referees, probably they should look to the athlete in the dominant position, whoever's in the top. Like obviously, it's your prerogative to pass the guard at that point. You know, instead of giving like a double penalty, like you're saying, just penalize the one who's sitting in guard, who's not making any attempts to pass or anything, because person on bottom has opportunities to do a lot, but when you're in somebody's guard, what can you do except pass the guard, you know? And if you're not even trying to that, then there's a clear you know, discrepancy on who's kind of pressing the action. So you kind of said it was the referees, but really you kind of threw it back on the athletes to be more exciting. Because if
I just 100%, but I just think it's like people will forever try to game the system. You know what I mean? They'll try to like play that meta and like, bro, I've competed. I know how tiring it is. Like my ass is gonna try and stall you just because I don't want to freaking throw up on the mat afterwards and be embarrassed. You know what I mean? So it's like I get it.
Matches, you can't go 100% seven times in a row for full 5 minutes each. You know?
Right. Yeah, my jujitsu isn't that efficient, bro. I hate to break the news to everybody, but you know, my little ass is getting tired out there. So I get that for sure. But it's like that's why I that's why I think it's like I've been skipping the warm up for sure. But that's why I just feel like it's you know, it's like got to be some referee involvement to like keep people honest, because like you're gonna get away with what you can get away with as the athlete. You know what I mean? Like unless you are just a dude who's just like doesn't give a shit about anything and throws it all at the wall and has endless cardio, which is sick. That's the coolest type of athlete. But like just is not how everyone is, you know. Some people just win. Some people are strategists, you know. So it's like I think there's got to be some referee involvement to keep it honest.
Yeah, and like you said, there will always be people looking to game the system. I know. I don't know if you're familiar. You know Tim Ferriss, any? He's not a jiu-jitsu but author 4 Hour Work Week and some other propaganda stuff. Yeah, he's a self-admitted scam artist because he said,
dude, 100%.
Have you read that story where he's like, yeah, I signed up for this Muay Thai kickboxer smoker in like Thailand, and I read in the rules if you step out of bounds twice, you're DQ'd. So I just pushed everybody out of bounds and I won.
Yeah. No, bro, I feel like not to get too far into the, you know, the self-help grifter world, but like Tim Ferriss's book, The 4 Hour Work Week, if you read it, I just feel like it's admitting how that book got made. You know what I mean? Like it's like all this stuff about like outsource your work and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's sick. But like, I think you did this with this book. Like, I think I think I'm getting duped right now, but whatever.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Tim Ferriss made a jujitsu video recently. I haven't watched it, but it came up on my YouTube feed. I was at the public library watching YouTube as I do to gain knowledge, and I saw this in my feed.
Library to watch YouTube. That's funny.
It makes me feel better about myself. If you go to the public library to watch YouTube, then it's like, you know, if someone says like, "Oh, where'd you learn that?" You can say the public library. You know, you get a little more respect.
Yeah, you got to show love to the libraries, man. I grew up in the libraries. It's one of my favorite stories with my mom, actually. They had one of the largest libraries here open. is the East Bank Library, East Bank Regional. And when they cut the ribbons, man, we're the first people like running through and like, where's the kids section? Where's the kids section? And then like we saw, we're like, let's go. They had like paparazzi like snapping photos of us and everything. It's just, it was a really good memory of just growing up and my mom's love for books and everything. So I always got a soft spot for libraries and books in general. So shout out to libraries, man. But
shout out the library, bro.
yeah, I really did like part of his book, and then this was when I was running a business with float tanks. I was really getting really heavy into reading some of that stuff, and maybe the book was outsourced, maybe not. But what it did was it really helped me understand as a business owner and just somebody who's conscious of how I'm spending my time. You really have to organize yourself and then just realize, what am I good at? Let me focus on those things. And then what things are okay to outsource. And before reading that book, I had never heard of websites like Upwork and Fiverr.com, which helped me to publish and illustrate one of my like children's books that I wrote, The Little Book of Beans. I found an artist online to do there because you talk to any artist or like graphic whatever the graphic artist, or they say, oh yeah, I charge like $200 a page, and it's like, dude, like, oh, I got 28 pages, I can't pay that. But you go on Fiverr.com and it's like, yeah, I'll do the whole thing, $150. I'm like, all right. So that book, it opened my eyes to a lot of things like that. And I did order a book on, what is it, like how to scam people, like, and outsource everything, but it never came. So.
Oh shit! It never came. Uh-oh, that sewer rat scam archetype, huh? That new villain arc.
I'm starting to think maybe I got took. See. That's pretty funny. Yeah, and I heard some rumors maybe Andrew Tate did some of that rule pushing stuff to get his spotlight, but I don't know enough about Tate or his career to comment
the
on.
top G? You talking about the top G?
Top G, baby. Can't say too much.
I gotta go back to the library and look more into that.
Yeah, well, let's do that off this cast. I don't want to get panned.
Yeah, true.
So talking about rule sets and everything, talk to me about maybe what's in the works, if anybody has brought this up, because I know for the finale, we had some really long matches, and even during the show, right? And this was something, you can say till you're blue in the face. I know Hollywood said it a lot of times, like, we're looking for exciting athletes. We want people to like go for heavy moves, like flashy stuff kind of sometimes. But obviously the main goal is to win. But with those 3-hour matches, we had one for the fights to get on to the show. We had a really long match at the finale with Kyle and Isaac. And then, people were starting to get a little bored with Gordon and Pena when he was trying to smother choke him. And then finally he gave up and moved on to something else. What is something maybe no-gi time limit matches or no time limit matches can do to kind of, facilitate a little bit more of that action and make it more viewer friendly?
I think there's an aspect where it's like you're either in to like submission only, no time limit matches, or you're not. Like, you know what I mean? To some degree, it's kind of like a personal flavor type of thing. Like, one thing I'll say is like, dude, in person, that shit's electric. Like, in my opinion, like a no time limit submission only match is electric while you're in person, because you never know what's about to happen. Right. It's like a weird dynamic where if you're watching it, I get how like it's so easy to now like be like, dude, what the freak? Like, this is we've been watching for 45 minutes, like 50 minutes now, an hour and 15. Like, how are you not going to pull up your phone or like, take a trip to the public library because I'm addicted to it. I can't stop myself, like whatever. It's like, there's so many options like we have to get gratification around us when you're watching it on a screen. But when you're there, it is like, there's like an energy in the room that's like hard to explain, I guess, to someone who hasn't seen it, in my opinion. I don't know if you had a similar experience, like watching some of those. Of course, it gets a little boring while you're there, but like, I don't know. It's just like that element of like, this could pop off at any moment is like kind of fun to watch.
For me, that's like baseball, right? Like, you love the experience to go show up, you get your little hot dog, sitting with a beer, watching everything. But would I ever watch baseball on TV? No,
yeah. No chance. Yeah. Hey, bro. Hey, I'll tell you a quick story about someone watching baseball. This blew my mind. I'm on like a trip. I won't give too many details. I don't want to say who this was, even though it's not bad. But like, I was on a trip with some flow guys, not flow grappling guys. I helped another vertical. It was wrestling. I'll just say flow wrestling guys. And we're staying in an Airbnb about to do this event. And this guy like is watching a Yankees game, and it's like the game's over, and he hits rewind and starts it back over from the start. And it blew my mind, bro. My man's turned on a game from the start and just was like, let me run that back. Like, dude, that's not, I couldn't, not only could I not watch a baseball game on TV, the thought of like rewinding and starting from the beginning is the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. So I don't know. I guess moral of the story, people are crazy, sewer rat. You gotta be careful out there.
They are, and people like what they like, and they don't like what they don't like. I know for soccer, you're used to that, and they've got such a global fan base. It's like accepted at this point that there's really not going to be a lot of high score and a lot of action. It's a lot of this chess match, trying to get players off balance on one side of the field, kind of thing. So if you really know what you're looking at, that's what you're watching in a soccer match, is how they're manipulating the defense and everything. But for the no-gi, and I know it's definitely part of the athletes' game plan, right? Like I know Gordon was trying to pull off that smother choke, and some of it is just a lot of what Rakshawn likes to do, is to just get people to mentally quit, right? Get them tired, and then just kind of flash on them afterwards. So there's definitely an element to that for the preparation. But as far as like the online viewership watching it, I understand. So I didn't know if there was any talks to kind of limit the no time limit kind of stuff. I really think EBI had hit that real sweet spot with the fact that it's like first 5 minutes, no points. And then after that, if there's a tie at a certain point, it goes to like a dual overtime. Like each athlete gets a chance to do something from a power position in the overtime. And I thought maybe that's kind of like the fairest way to the athletes and maybe to the viewers to kind of present a match like that. Was there any interest in doing something along that kind of rule set, or in an in-between?
I think for sure, always some interest. I think like it's like going back to like gaming the system, it's like before people really started gaming EBI hard, I do think it was sick. Like, man, I remember watching was it like the Absolutes 14 or EBI 14 or something? Is that the one with Gordon and Craig? Can't remember. It's like one of those, like, it's like one of the most electric jiu-jitsu events I've ever watched. Like, I was like, dude, this is so sick. And that was like pretty early on whenever I had started training and stuff. And so I was like, dude, this is dope. Like, this is the shit. But I think like EBI, so many people game it now where they do just get it to overtime and then they're the overtime specialists. So it's like they kind of win that way, which is like, I don't know, it gets a little boring to me, but it's not the worst by any means. So there is something there. I guess I'll say this about submission only, no time limit. I think maybe like the issue isn't sub only, no time limit. It's like the vehicle we've up to this point delivered it to the audience in, it's like putting it on a card where it's like Kyle and Isaac were just like, okay, now all of a sudden this is going to be a submission only match, so it's like you're used to these 15-minute matches, and now all of a sudden we have a match that's like, who knows how long it's going to be, and ended up going really long. Like it was like almost 3 hours, like 2:45 or something, It's like that's a weird little mix up where it's like the pacing of the show now is completely like thrown off. So I've wondered if like maybe setting up no time limit matches more as like an underground live stream thing would be like a better way of doing it. Like almost like we go to a gym and just like, you said what?
Like make it its own league, like to just be like the time limit league instead of throwing it on a match where all the other matches are timed.
Yeah,
just to have its own.
Yeah, it's like the no time limit underground, like almost like kind of like how they did like Felipe Gordon like in Studio 540, where it felt a little like like underground in a gym. Like maybe we just like go to a gym and it's like, all right, we're doing one match today, one no time limit. We could be here all night. We could be here for 3 minutes. Who knows? You know what I mean? And that's the live stream. Whatever it is what it is. And it's just like, boom, we got freaking Cade Ruotolo versus Mika Galvao, no time limit on the underground. It's going down right here in this gym. And then it's like, boom, it starts. And it's like, that's it. So it's like, it could be literally a 30-second match, or we could be there for 3 hours. But like, I think whenever it's like, that's just like what it is, that's the only reason you're there to watch that, maybe it would be like a better viewer experience, if that makes sense. Have you I don't know if you follow Barstool at all, but they have this guy Jersey Jerry who's like been doing these all night streams, like he did the hole in one challenge where he had to do a live stream until he hit a hole in one, and it went on for like a day or something, 2 days, I don't know. And like, I just feel like it's that type of element where it's like, that's crazy. That had to be so boring to watch at certain times, but that aspect of like he could do it at any second keeps you kind of interested, because that's all there is. There's nothing, you're not waiting for anything else. You're not like being like, all right, hurry up, let's get Gordon on. Like, come on, like in this Isaac Kyle thing. So it's like if you're there for the one match that could go, what you might feel ripped off if it only went 10 minutes, to be honest. So it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe there's something there where we could deliver it in a better way like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that makes sense, because they got all kinds of different, live streams kind of thing. I know this one dude is just, he live streams himself going to bed, and then people can just tune in with different things. They can drop like $5 is like an alarm clock, like $10 drops a pail of water on him while he's sleeping, like trying to wake him up. It separates your niche audience into something that's specifically looking for that type of like engagement, that viewership. And I think it's a little bit fairer, not just to the viewers, but maybe to the athletes as well. I mean, of course, they know signing up, they're doing like a no time limit match, but to know that's definitely part of it, because there's an endurance aspect, not just to the techniques and to other preparation. You have to prepare yourself for perhaps a 3-hour match, and that's just kind of like that's like an immeasurable task. It almost seems like, to have somebody try to train for something like that, and then to have it last, like you said, maybe like 10 minutes or something. It's just kind of like, well, damn, I'm prepared to be here for like 2 hours or something, So I think it'll help give athletes a better idea of, maybe how to mentally prepare for their way going in. And I know you had mentioned Craig and Gordon being on that EBI. Was there any talks about having Gordon go against Craig at the finale, or how did that decision come up? Because obviously we didn't have the coaches, which I thought was a big letdown. They should have had a little bit tighter of a contract for Tim to say, if for whatever reason coaches had to pull out, no matter who steps in as the substitute, you got to fight the opposing team's coach, not just, we're giving you this name and that's it. I don't know how it was worded or if that was what had happened, but it seemed a little off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously that is the ideal finale, but I just think the reality is like, dude, the contract stuff is tough. Like, it's like, I luckily don't have to touch the contracts, which I'm very grateful for, because that's a hard job. But like, look at the Ultimate Fighter, even like Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler, that match, that still hasn't happened. Like, these dudes, it's just hard to actually, like, I feel like, contractually obligate a person into something like that with combat sports and everything. So I don't know. That is tough for sure. Obviously, Gordon versus Craig is like a white whale match, like that's like an ultimate pinnacle dream match. But that's another one that's just like, I would be impressed if anybody got that done. That's a tough one. So I don't know. I can't speak too much to that one, Sewer Rat. They don't let me have the details. I'm just the guy with the little camera going, "What's up, grappling fans?"
Gotcha. I told you I'd go be easy on some of them. That's all right. That's all right. Well, let's get back to the show a little bit. What was anything that like kind of surprised you throughout the course of the filming, or just athletes, or was there anything that kind of like stood out in your brain as just like, whoa, wasn't expecting that, or favorite moments during the filming on this camera or behind the scenes?
Yeah. Let me think, I think one of the most shocking moments was whenever Sewer Rat got taken down on the finale. I thought, no way. I was like, what's this dude doing? He came out. I thought he was prepared. I thought he knew what was up. What was up with that, man? Is Mike Rakshan your biggest rival?
I don't know. I think it's the officiating crew on the first match, and then of course he had the two highest coaches in his corner. So was it really all Rakshan's doing? It's hard to pin down who actually.
You did get screwed at first match. You got screwed with it because you played possum. You got his ass clean, and he was gonna let go, and you weren't out. That's fair play in my book.
Dude, that was hilarious. They didn't build that
up. It was hilarious.
No, like as you're watching it, you're like, wait, what just happened? But if, like you said, if you were there and you were in that building, you could feel that electricity, dude. That was definitely one you had to be there for, because the show did not really do that moment justice. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Did you know going in, if you got into trouble, you were gonna play possum on him?
Dude, I told Renee like the night before. I was like, dude, I was like, I got something slick, dude, just ready. And I told him I was gonna play possum. I did. I really didn't think I was gonna throw him in like those first 10 seconds. We slap bump. I grabbed the collar tie. He goes to overtime, and I just ouchie wazed his ass straight out of nowhere. And then I wasn't expecting him to land like he did, and I took his back, and he's just so like barrel bodied. It was just like hard to control. I was like, dude, I never thought I was gonna get here, but now that I'm here, like it's kind of weird. And he was like, oh shit, when he was like flying through the air. So I was like, I'm getting swept up in the moment and everything. Y'all didn't do me no favors either, because when I walk up, like the whole like warehouse is like sewer rat. I was like, oh. I was like, all right, I got to do something now. So I definitely.
Yeah, the people loved it, dude.
It was a good show, and I think I was doing a little bit more showmanship than scratchmanship, but 2020 hindsight, definitely been putting in the work on my judo. It seems like that camp with Danaher and Gordon especially, they really take to heart the origins of jiu-jitsu, and they know a lot of judo controls that it just seems like a lot of people who only do jiu-jitsu, they're not aware of. So he's definitely got a great queso katami. Rakshan does. So it's just it's nice to see.
What's another name for what do you like to call that?
Queso, baby. You stuck in the queso katami.
I thought that was the trash compactor.
Oh yeah, well the position is queso, and then once you apply the submission, the finish is the trash.
It's the trash compactor.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about the camel crusher versus the trash compactor? This is a controversial thing. I never know which one I'm supposed to be calling it. Which one's more effective? I don't know.
I think the fans have decided that one. And when I release the instructional, the complete sewer system, I think we'll put a final scratch to whoever that was.
You see him peeking? I saw him peeking right there.
Yeah, I saw him peeking and squeaking.
If they peek again, I'm going to hit them with the trash compactor, and I'm going to have them say something about it, too.
That's right. But yeah, when I come out with the sewer system, we'll let the fans decide which is the more popular terminology.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
We should film the trash the trash compactor video.
Yeah, well, I did that one, and that's what I had everybody cracking up on. The Ouchie Waza set up to the trash compactor. Ouchie Waza! That was hilarious. They had the whole CEO box or whatever, all the execs laughing. I think that's what got me on the show, to be honest. That was pretty funny.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what my niche, dude. I'm trying to make it a little bit accessible for everybody, because not everybody's going to have matches and go undefeated in these massive runs, but just for the average person coming in, hobbyist that wants to just come in, train, and enjoy it, there a lot of like the enjoyment aspect got lost of it. It's either like you're a full-time competition athlete or just like don't bother. People forget that regular people do this stuff too. And I think that was some highlight of what the show was intended, was to give some of these unknown athletes or just hobbyists chances to kind of show themselves up in the big leagues, or just kind of get some publicity and things. I think it was really great for Big Dan. I said a little bit about this before, but he kind of had a taste of that and just really started to develop a little bit more, come into his own, have a little bit more set personality. Because it's a hard thing, it's to develop and to present who you are, and
for sure.
I'm about to hit a hard segue into this. But you know, just like as much as you have to study and present your jujitsu technique and everything, you know, it all starts with the posture, with the grip, but everything in life is like that. You know, you have to, you know, obviously intentionally get up, get dressed in the morning. So talk to me, Mr. Flow grappling with the flow. What was that decision like for you to grow out your hair? Because during the show it wasn't so short. I mean, it wasn't so long. It was a little bit shorter.
Yeah. No, this is part of my evolution in just slowly becoming Reed. And one day, like as nature goes in cycles and like nature grows and dies off and grows again, and that's the circle of life.
Yeah.
Essentially, like I'm just going to slowly keep evolving into Reed, and then one day Reed will no longer be able to make videos, and he'll fall off and I'll replace him, and then a new guy will come into flow grappling and he'll start making videos and people will quit watching mine and start watching his, and I hope one day that guy grows his hair out and is properly ready to replace me.
Yes, indeed.
Now, really, I was traveling a lot and I kept missing haircut appointments. and then my barber raised the prices, dude. The haircut prices in Austin are ridiculous, man. Like I'm talking 45, 50 bones for one cut. Like I can't swing it. So I just, could never get in. And then I was like, damn, these prices are crazy anyways. And now look at me, now I tie it up. I do like the samurai tie when I'm at jujitsu. It makes me feel extra cool whenever I'm getting tossed on my head. So it's like, whatever, win-win. Look at this one. You see that? That coming through in the camera?
I see it.
Yeah, we got to scratch somebody up for that. We got to get a get back on that one.
Yeah.
All right. We ain't letting nobody leave proof of damage on the goods. So I got to get my get back tonight at the gym.
Dude, you just say I did that myself, so I look cool.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I usually beat my own ass before I show up to train, just so no one else can do it first.
All right, dude. Well, in case you give any thoughts to shaving it down to a rat tail, I'm gonna give you some advice for the barbershops. You got to find like a Caribbean joint, and they do quick, clean work. There's some place with like the hot towels, like the earwax and everything, and like the nose thing kind of stuff. Because I've been going to this place. They went up, but it was only like $5, and they're just so quick and clean.
Oh.
No, they only raised their prices $5.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what, dude?
Yeah, I know a guy. You got to turn left under the interstate. It's
yeah. I was like, I'm about to fly to New Orleans.
It's the third manhole on the left.
Yeah.
Drop under.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because you like you said, you go to these barbershops, and I can imagine, especially in Austin, where everybody's so like so artisanal, right? Artisanal is like such a buzzword, but they're like, oh, I gotta focus on my craft, dude. You could get a haircut anywhere. You go get a pair of clippers at Walmart and shit. But if you want my haircut, dude, that's a work of art, baby. $45. Mm-hmm. But you go to these Arabs, dude, and they mean business, dude. They cut hair in the army, and they're just like, dude, they fade you up in like 20 minutes, you in and out, and there's no like back behind the scenes. See, Pile, baby, scratch. What's up, son?
Yeah, look who it is, Christian Piles. He's about to barge in here. Yeah, I'm on the Sewer Rat and Friends podcast.
Listen, the Sewer Rat's on the computer. I'm gonna say, hey, scratch.
Special guest.
Special guest, Christian Piles.
Let's go. Bonus guest. Yeah, so you got to go somewhere where they mean business, and that would be my tip for anybody going to get their haircut. But for me, like you said, I usually let my flow grow for about like 3-4 months until I feel like it needs to be shaped up again. I really just go to maintain kind of the shape-ish, and I'm still working on like kind of like a signature haircut. This was like because this was part of my development, not just as a martial artist, but personally and as a rap artist. You talk about Reed. One of my favorite artists is Riff Raff, right? And he's got the signature, the cornrows, the triangle pyramid beards. Like a lot of work went into developing. Like, how is he gonna do that? And I was like, I got to get like some kind of signature thing. So of course the rat tail made sense, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of it. I had like a bowl cut for a while, and then I had the Danaher rat tail going. So I'm still kind of finagling a lot of different things, but it's an ever evolving process. So for anybody who's
you got ghosts.
I got loose nuts back here, dude. My screws falling off. All my screws loose.
Got loose nuts, bro. Man, my boy got loose nuts.
That's hilarious. Well, boom, boom, boom. Start shooting. What about that cop, dude? Acorns everywhere.
Was that an acorn?
That's funny.
Yeah, no. You got to have your signature look, bro.
The signature look and the signature.
Yeah. I feel like I was a dude who I kind of like I never get the same haircut twice in a way, you know, at least not back to back. Like I always try to mix it up every time. Like before this, I went first time I ever buzzed it all. So I feel like I went from two extremes, you know, maybe I was at a place in life where I needed to feel extreme, you know. So I went straight buzz cut into the long hair. And who knows what's coming up next. One of my always go-tos is like a long mohawk. So like I'll mohawk it, you know, but I'll keep this flowy. I call it the flow hawk. That was before I worked for Flow Grappling. And now our logo is called the Flow Hawk, so that kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but we'll see.
Man, the perfect mascot, the perfect rep.
Yeah, true.
Dude, we's an hour in. We just kept this ball rolling. I had like
That's right.
little other questions. I don't you any kind of time crunch or anything.
I could probably do a couple more.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up in a bit.
Only good ones though.
Oh, dude. Well,
I'm kidding.
Let me rethink my questions. It's all good, baby. Come on.
I'm kidding.
With as much as you travel, you got any kind of favorite like travel accessories or travel items?
Travel accessories. That's a good one. Because I do feel like I spent a lot of my life being like a gear review guy, you know, like I was always watching gear reviews. Like I was like, oh, what little knickknacks and patty whacks can I get to, you know, to ease my life and travel. I feel like I kind of got away from it more. I try to go super minimalist. I'm a huge like as few bags as possible guy. Like I'll underpack for a trip just to have less luggage and like whatever. I'll wear a shirt twice. I guess I'm, you know, I've spent a little time in the sewers myself, so I ain't afraid of it, you know. Yeah, squirt a little Febreze on it, turn it inside out, thrice turned, you know, it gets you a long way. But I think like this is like kind of a basic one, but like man, the thing I don't think I've ever traveled anywhere without is like chapstick and AirPods. Like those are like I always have those in my pocket. Like literally, I got AirPods right now. I'm wearing them, and I always got that chapstick. I keep that thing on me. You know what I mean? This one I had a hard time when I was opening it. I got aggressive and ripped half of it off. But no free ads on the Sewer Rat and Friends. That's why I took the logo off that one. But those are some simple ones. It's not like gonna blow anybody's mind. I'm trying to think what else like type of good travel tips I could give. I will say this: if you're flying, I'm gonna check the seating chart till they like close it and don't let you check it anymore. Bro, I stay on it and I look and I'm like, oh, someone sat next to me. Boom, I'm moving. Now I'm 17C. Like I'll fight till the bitter end to get that empty middle seat. It makes a huge difference.
Oh,
you know,
you a middle seat, not a window or an aisle.
No. I want it empty. I want the middle seat empty. So I want like the aisle is my go-to. I don't want to get trapped in there. But like if you check the seating chart, because sometimes they auto apply people next to you, you know, but there's still like empty rows in the back or something. So I'm just constantly checking up until they close the seating chart ability to change your seat. And so like I'm moving all around that thing, getting nobody next to me. I need all that room.
That's definitely.
I get weird.
Yeah, you gotta let that thing swing sometimes. You need
exactly. Yeah, I get weird on a plane. You know, don't ask, don't tell. Whenever I'm flying.
Yeah, something I kind of do a little bit like that is, you know, everybody's always in a rush to be the first one to board. But when you do that, like that's when all of those like the window and the aisles taken, people are gonna sit next to you if you sit in the middle. But then like I'll just wait and I hang back and I'll wait till everybody to go board and I say, oh, they got 3 rows empty. That's me. And you lift up the armrest and you just take like a nap across the seats for the flight. That's the best way to do it. Any favorite places you travel? Because me and the missus got our honeymoon probably coming up. I just got engaged at the end of last year.
Oh shit! Congrats.
Yes, thank you very much.
The Queen of the USSR.
United States.
That's right.
It's a beautiful title.
Favorite places?
USSR.
Yeah, exactly. Favorite places like Rio de Janeiro is obviously up there. It's like one of the coolest places I've ever been. Just like a very magical place, especially if you like jujitsu, because you can like I mean, obviously, like everyone you meet's a black belt in Rio. You know, like the dude who opens the door for you at the hotel's a black belt. The guy you're sitting next to while you're eating acai's a black belt. Like it's insane. Like I've never been to a place where jiu-jitsu is so integrated into everyday life as much as Rio. So that's a great one. Costa Rica is really cool. They got like more accessible, easier flights and everything to Costa Rica too. Like especially from Austin. Like you're down south, so like you might have some stuff, but you can get a direct flight from Austin to Costa Rica. It's only like a 3 hour flight or something, and that's pretty sick. I like Rindo is like a good little town there. Where else? I love San Diego. I know you spent time in San Diego and everything, but that's one of my favorite cities in the U.S. And then Mexico City, I would rank Mexico City as one of my favorite cities as well. That's an incredible city. I was there for 24 hours. I had a flight get canceled, and I just walked around for 24 hours, and it was like one of the most fun days I've ever had. Like it was so sick.
Oh yeah, we're looking at maybe lobster diving somewhere, so maybe we'll hit up Costa Rica, and that's some good tips. All right, well yeah, that's about it. I mean, I know you're still training with your jiu-jitsu journey. What like affiliation with school do you rep, son? Like, there, you plan on sticking with them to get your black belt, or just that was part of the reason I moved out to San Diego, is to advance a little bit, because like at the time I was competing a lot, I was doing well. I kind of, not to be egotistical, but I was beating a lot of the people I was in the gyms with, including some of the black belts. But they're getting older, and so it's like, do I really want a black belt from, or like wouldn't it be cool to go get a black belt under Keenan? Right? So where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself getting a black belt? Where at your current school? Just
I train at the 55th Street Crips under Crip Mac, and so I'm just playing. I'm kidding. If you know that reference, then you're a real one. But no, I train at Paragon here in Austin, which is an affiliate of obviously Paragon in Santa Barbara. But the main instructor is Jose Portillo. He's like a dude, people don't really know him, I feel like, on the big scale, but he has wins over Boogie, and he did it well in a lot of the On It invitationals when that was going on. And I mean, I do love the gym and stuff, so I don't see any reason why I would leave or anything. I don't think too much about getting a black belt or getting it from this person or that person. I just like doing jiu-jitsu every day, to be honest with you. I just like training a lot and just learning new stuff, seeing the stuff that people are doing, and just trying to mess around with it. That's the best part for me, is you can just always play around with shit. You can get smashed one day and be like, let me try this little half guard move, and just freaking shit doesn't work. And then the next day, you feel like Marcelo out there just, hitting the most beautiful X guard sweeps and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just, I'm here for the journey, Sewer Rat, just having fun along the way. It's not about, it's not about where we end up, all that. It's about the friends we make along the way. And that's why I'm happy to be here at Sewer Rat and Friends.
Amen to that, sir. And yeah, I was just going to ask if you had any closing comments, but I think play around with stuff is a pretty good tagline to leave the audience and all viewers. So was there anything else you want to add, or are we going to leave it at that?
Nah, man. Thanks for having me. Glad to come on. I'll try not to be insulted that I was the third guest. I thought maybe I was first guest potential, but it's okay. I won't hold.
I iron out some details before. You don't just black belt white belt techniques from a black belt.
Yeah, true. Nah. Thanks for having me on, man. This is exciting. I'm excited to watch the show and see what all you do with it. So. Yeah, appreciate it.
I'm part of what I know I'm super late on all this. I was just I was so consumed with the work and everything when I got back from the finale and all. And also I was in the back of my mind hoping that there was going to be some kind of wrap up, some kind of tail end finisher, maybe a finale episode, not just the live stream. So I was kind of waiting to see if anything was going to happen with that. And I was like, well, but I just kind of got around to wanting to put together kind of a where are they at now, kind of a last dance sort of thing for the Who's Up Next series. Has there been talks of a season 2, or do you know? Can you say or not say?
I think there's always talks of a season 2 for sure. So I think for sure though, it's if we do a season 2, it's everyone wants to do it big. So got to figure all that out for sure.
Cool, man. Well,
the return of the rat.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks so much for your time, Trey. It was great. OGTrey Robinson. Y'all give him a follow. He's all over the scene and covers a lot of the big events. So y'all check him out, Instagram, and probably is that the best way to reach you? I know you got your link tree and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was for lunch? What'd you eat?
I had some Jamaican chicken.
Oh, gains, baby, gains.
That's right. Let's go. Big body only.
Let's go. Burley boys. Good to talk to you, Trey.
All right.
See ya.